what's shaking? Mr. Dave here in my office. Hey, we're going to be checking out this very interesting project study course, LaGrande, if I'm saying that right. Anyway, this is a remodel project that we did a number of years back, and the whole perimeter of the rockwork on the raised bond in the back, as you will see, was cracking and separating from the pool itself, and that often happens, and I'll explain why in the course as we break it down. But yeah, this was done a while back. Client asked me to come out there, fix the cracks, stabilize it if possible, and redo it, give it a new tune-up as far as coloring goes. But this was an extensive job, an extensive remodel that involved adding rebar, new structural coat of concrete over everything, texture coating, and then as well the final paint that we do on our projects and stuff to get it flushed out and completed. So we're going to take you through that process, and so let's see what I had to say on the first day that we got this bad boy started, and then we'll continue to go through the process in the sessions that follow. So thank you for investing in this course, and give me some feedback, give me some questions if you have any, and we can help you out with issues you might have. But yeah, I try to break it down, take it slow. Check the PDF files out, print those out if you like, or refer back to them, because I go through the video courses and then I look for things I maybe need to fill in terms of the data or content. So the PDFs are very important. So, you know, grab those too and put those down in whatever format you want. But let's see what I had to say as this job began, and we'll get the ball rolling here. The LaGrande project study course. Let's take a look at what's going on here at the beginning. Hey, what's shaking all you rock fans out there? Mr. Dave out here, and we are in Escondido, and we are doing a repair and recolor job up here. And so I want to show you what ends up happening, as I've shown in many other videos, where the steel's not encased in concrete, and so things rust and they crack. So check it out. This is a 20-year-old feature, so it's been around a while. It's been repaired already, sort of. It is sort of a expandable, sort of a stuck silicone type of product that just pushed in the crack. But the cracks are going all the way along. You know, the sort of the demarcation line between the pool and outside the pool. The pool has the water in it, and it gets colder in the summer because it's water, and then the outside is really hot. And so the cold and the hot disparity causes expansion on the hot side and contraction on the colder side. Well, those forces playing against each other pull things apart, and if you don't have rebar inside the steel, inside the concrete structures rather, then you have a failure and a weak point. It doesn't always do it, but it's very, very common. So we're actually going to come across and sort of like stitching back a cut, or a surgeon's surgery, if you will. You can see the cracks right here coming down. And so we're going to sort of try and get the two halves and pull them together, just like the doctor puts you back together after a surgery. Same thing right here, big crack coming across. In fact, this spot right here, you can see, is actually all the way to the steel inside, and look at that, it's just about rusted all the way away. I don't know if you can see inside there, but yeah, these are hollow, and they're, you know, hollow's okay, but you got to get the steel encased in that concrete. So we're coming across the whole front of this thing where all the cracks are. There's a weak point right here in the weir. That's where the water falls off into a pool. So we're going to be doing the same thing, and we took this little section out with the diamond grinder so that the rebar can kind of set in, and so when we're adding our concrete across this whole space, it's not going to end up being so bulky and misshapen. We want to follow the shape of the rocks, and they're pretty cool. The rocks look pretty neat. They use the plastic or tinfoil technique to get this texture. It's basically just crinkling up a thick 6 mil or thicker plastic or tinfoil, and you just push it into the wet cement. Pretty simple, and it does give you an effective look right away. So we got a crack here, so we're going to be fixing that one as well. So we're going across the whole face of this feature, and we're going to be just trying to fix these cracks. After that's done, we're going to texture coat it, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use probably visqueen plastic, push it into the wet mud, and that will give us the look that is consistent with the original folks who built this. This is a 20-year-old project, so it has lasted for quite a while. So there you have it. That's the way to fix them. And so we're going to be working on that for the next couple of days. We're waiting for the shotcrete guy to be doing his thing on the other job that we just did a video of. So, you know, you just try and fill in your calendar with other stuff to make sure you're doing something each and every day. So anyways, we'll show you the next steps as we proceed through this process to show you how you can repair artificial rock that's been cracked and it's fallen apart. None of this is forever perfect. It's possible you'll have reoccurring cracks, but we're doing a pretty heavy-duty repair and we're using the steel, and we will encase this steel completely in concrete, so it will have a pretty good bite, and we can use some acrylic admix into the concrete mix that we're going to use to cover up all the rebar and all these areas that are cracking, and might even use some concrete glue on the substrate as well. I'm not sure. Probably could get away without it. You know, the acrylic stuff you add in, it makes it pretty sticky, makes the mud pretty sticky. So anyway, so Mr. Dave out here in North County, Escondido, and just doing another one. So repairing old 20-year-old rock work, giving it a facelift, fixing all the cracks. So we'll see you next time. Be thankful, be forgiving, and put more in this world than you take out. And be hopeful and positive. We need more good stuff out there. Yeah? Yeah. So anyway, Mr. Dave out here. God bless y'all. And we will see you next time. See ya. Hey man, yeah, always good to be grateful and thankful. You can see here the plastic has been laid down, the taping off of the feature to protect all the hardscape is going on. That blue tape surrounds everything. We got the vacuum there to keep everything cleaned out in the holes that we drill and stuff, and the cracks and that need to have epoxy going in. So we're going to be covering all these surfaces with rebar, and we'll see that in just a second. Got the hammer drill on top of the rock there behind the vacuum, and the hickey bar there that bends the rebar, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how I bend rebar in just a second. And so the scaffold's in, and so we can move around very safely and stuff. The yellow lines show where the rebar is going to go, crisscrossed, and there's a little bit of a notch cut into the rock. You can sort of see if you look for it, and the next picture will show that. And that's to keep the profile of this added on concrete and mortar mix, and you know, this fix that we're doing. We don't want to have it bulge out and look like a mushroom with the top all filled in. We're going to have some chicken wire that we're going to add to this as well with hog rings. I get those in the Home Depot store in the fencing department. Little hog ring pliers. We use those to hold on the chicken wire. And just moving along the surface of this project from one side to the other. And we just do one part at a time, but keep moving across. We're trying to, again, stitch across the cracked areas and hold everything in together. On the rebar, if the hole penetrates, and we go ahead and just cover it with a bunch of epoxy as we put it in there, and then we pour it around the right side, or pump it in, really. It's a hand device that has two tubes in it. We use the double tube system of epoxy. Again, I get that at Home Depot as well. Here's what we got when we got there. These kind of cracks going along, and it's right where the pool is halfway across the features, and sort of the pool pulls in the cold phases, and then the heat expands. So let's take a look at how I bend rebar. So when I do it with my knees, some people think that's a little crazy, but for some reason it doesn't bother me at all. You start off with a bend, right? So we've got a little bit of a bend. It's not exactly 90 degrees, so I'm going to come in a little closer, and then I like it coming out. Since I got two sticks, I got enough room to come over here. So I'm kind of remembering where that is. This is going to be the part that's laying on the ground flat. Understand? That makes sense? So there you go. That's how I do it. Just bend it with my knee. So we're going to be using little sticks, short pieces to, again, go across this thing. We're also going to be using my bender bar cutter. As we see here, that's the full length of it. The arm on top you lift up, and that allows you to cut rebar. You can see that little notch in the front of that round area there. those things line up and open up, and you can put the rebar in there and just pull the arm down and cut it any length you want. It'll cut 3/8 and 1/2 inch. The two little rollers on the top that you see there in the picture are used to bend the bar, and you can do that if you're trying to do footings and stuff. Otherwise, you just use hickey bars and get two of them going if you need to bend things. But so there you go. That is the tool that I use to cut and bend hard bends with the rebar. So we use mostly our knee and the hickey bar, mostly just the knee, as you saw me demonstrate. For all these pieces, they're little pieces. They get the ball rolling, as it were, in our stitching of our our patient, the rock. So we're crisscrossing it. We now have chicken wire on there, which you can see. If you look closely, we have another closer picture here. The glue is down there, bottom left side there, a gallon. I just slop that in there and paint it on there, and that's going to help our structural coat that's in our next session be applied and stick really well and get a great bond and really give us a long-term fix, as it were, in this remodel here. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing going. You can see the process there. The yellow lines lined up pretty good, and that kind of gave us some direction as to where we're going to crisscross our patterns. And the steel was bent in tight off with a tie wire and stuff. So there you go. That sort of preps us up. So let's review a little bit. So the first thing you want to do is power wash the entire feature. Get the whole thing blown off, all the loose stuff out of there. Then you got to let it dry, number 2, and tape and mask off all the hardscape. Everything you don't want to paint or get cement on, you want to protect. So you tape that off. I usually do a piece of tape once all the way around, and then a second piece that holds the plastic down. 3, we got to mark out and drill our holes, set the grooves, get the score lines in the surface again so it holds better. And number 4, epoxy in and tie off your rebar, and then add your take hog rings rather, and use chicken wire and slop some glue on there. And to get that chicken wire on there, pull it tight, set it on opposite ends, and then pull it across or up or left or right, whichever surface you can grab and tug on. And then you're going to be ready for the structural coat or scratch coat. And so we're going to take a look at that in here coming up, session 2, applying the scratch coat or the structural coat of the concrete. And that's mixed in with a mortar mix as well. So that allows us to be able to get the mix more tacky, sticky, and able to be applied to our surface. So that's what we're going to be doing next. So let's move on to session 2.